Imagine living in a small village where there's this constant, creeping shadow of fear. The source of it all wasn't some spooky old mansion or a forgotten graveyard. Nope, it was something way more ordinary, something you'd see every day. An old, unassuming well.
You know, it's the kind of old saying you hear in villages, something grandparents tell their kids. But in this place, it wasn't just a story to tell around a fire. It was a deadly serious warning. A reminder that some old places hold secrets that are way, way better off left alone. And here's where that quiet fear gets really, really loud. 5 people, in just 2 months, gone, or found dead right near that well. This wasn't a string of bad luck. It was a horrifying pattern. It was like something was hunting. So what was going on? The villagers were understandably terrified. They even set up a little shrine, left offerings, prayed for the Satimata to just be calm. But it didn't work. The deaths kept coming. And that's because this wasn't some spirit you could just appease, because it didn't wake up on its own. So let's zoom in on a lone figure, wrapped in black, sneaking toward the well in the dead of night. We're about to see that this haunting, this curse, wasn't random at all. It was intentional. It was a summons, an invitation for pure vengeance. And it was signed in blood. Okay, so this wasn't some act of chaotic rage. This was a process. A terrifyingly specific one, performed by a woman named Maya. She uses powders and her own blood. She speaks words that are absolutely forbidden. And then, the final awful step, a rooster is sacrificed, its life force literally feeding a fire to call up whatever was sleeping down in that water. And for just a moment, a split second, it looks like it actually worked. A shape rises out of the well, and it takes the form of her sister, Manju. The call was answered. But that connection, it's not stable. Just as fast as her sister's face appears, it begins to distort. The features twist and shimmer. The image of her sister is literally decaying right in front of her. And right through that flickering image of Manju, Maya catches a glimpse of something else entirely. Something ancient, something that feels like it's been there forever, long before her sister ever came to that well. And in that one horrifying moment, Maya gets it. She has made a catastrophic mistake. She didn't just call back the spirit of her wronged sister. Oh no, she rang a dinner bell for some primal, starving thing that's now just wearing her sister's face like a mask. So, to really understand the rage fueling this whole thing, we have to rewind. We have to go back to the beginning, back to how this monster was first a victim. This isn't just about a ghost, it's about the horrible injustice that chained her soul to this one spot. I mean, just look at this timeline. Manju's entire life was just shattered. In 46 days. She's a newlywed, and barely a month later, her husband dies. But it gets so much worse. Her own brothers-in-law, instead of helping her, saw her as property. They literally locked her up in her own home. They chased her, they cornered her, she had nowhere to go, so she ran. She ran to the only sanctuary she could think of, the village well. Her last act wasn't just taking her own life. It was a desperate, final escape from them, a leap into the dark that would forever bind her pain to that water. All right, let's jump back to the present. The thing that Maya summoned, wearing all of Manju's pain and rage, starts to get to work. That blood pact demanded a price, and now the spirit is here to collect. And the vengeance is swift, and it is brutally precise. Mangal is first, his neck snapped right on his own doorstep. 13 days later, his brother Rajesh gets the exact same treatment. And finally, their mother, who knew what was happening and did nothing, is found dead. It's brutal, but you could almost say it's justice. The pact seems to be complete. But this is where the story takes a much darker turn. So justice is done, right? The bad guys are gone. But the thing that served that justice, it's still here, and it's still hungry. This is where a quest for revenge turns into a blind, unstoppable plague. You can see it right here. The target list, it just explodes. At first, it made a horrible kind of sense. The guilty paid the price. But then, the targets became anyone and everyone. A guy on a bike, a neighbor just walking by. Anyone who got too close to that well was fair game. The rage had completely lost its focus. And that right there is the true horror of the curse that Maya unleashed. The spirit, or whatever it is now, no longer remembers why it's so angry. The original reason is just gone. It's been replaced by this self-powering engine of pure suffering. Its only goal now is to make others feel the pain that it feels. So this all leads to the final heartbreaking act. Maya, the one who started this whole firestorm to get justice for her sister, now has to go and confront the monster that she herself created. Problem is, you can't really reason with a hurricane. She is just drowning in guilt. Innocent people are dying because of her ritual, so she goes back to the well one last time. But this time is different. She's not trying to summon anything, she's trying to put it to rest, to soothe it, to beg for peace, to somehow undo this horror. The spirit of Manju does appear before her. But when Maya looks into its eyes, there's nothing there. No recognition, no sisterly love. All she sees is a predator sizing up its next meal. The face might be Manju's, but the thing looking out of it is something else entirely. And that's the scariest lesson of all, isn't it? When she performed that ritual, she learned that you don't just call someone back. You're just opening a door, and you have absolutely no control over what decides to walk through it. And that thing, it doesn't owe you a thing. So that's what a curse like this really is. It's a tragedy that's turned into a virus. It's a pain so huge that it completely burns away its own history, its own reason for being. And all that's left is the mindless, burning need to inflict itself on anything and everything it touches. And that's really what we're left with. Maya wanted to use a monster to fight other monsters. But it leaves you with a really chilling question, doesn't it? When your weapon of choice is an uncontrollable force of pure rage, what happens when it finally turns its eyes on you?